Hi everyone. I'll be going over my midterm topic about the hyperpersonal model of computer-mediated communication. The hyperpersonal CMC model emphasizes the intimate and strong positive interpersonal effects that are created communicating via any type of media compared to face-to-face conversations. Despite the lack of the nonverbal cues, these intimate relations are stronger than what we see or expect to see in real life. This model consists of 4 different sections regarding the sender, receiver, channel, and the feedback. The sender is the person who initiates the conversation and creates the message for the receiver. They engage in selective self-presentation, which is the idea that the most attractive and favorable aspects of the sender is the only thing that is communicated, while less desirable information is left out. By doing so, this creates an identity shift for the sender, who now sees themselves in this idealized version that they have created. The receiver is the person that the message has been created for. Once they have received the message, they begin to create unrealistic impressions based on this idealized version that the sender has presented to them. Making these favorable assumptions allows them to overcompensate for a lot of the missing information that they do not get within this messaging. Because receivers solely rely on the minimal information that they get from the sender, they do not verify or validate this information, but rather trust and take the word of the sender. The channel with which both the sender and receiver communicate through tends to be an asynchronous medium channel. This allows time to not be a factor when it comes to modifying the messages and crafting a more appealing, favorable message over to receivers. Compared to in-person communications, users spend much more time on crafting messages in their computer-mediated environments versus in person. They have to consider factors about interpersonal nonverbal behaviors as well as group dynamics. Lastly, the feedback effect that occurs after both the sender and receiver have engaged in reciprocal communication through their online channel creates what is called the behavioral confirmation. In this, we see that once the sender involves idealized version messaging with the receiver, and in turn the receiver then creates these idealized assumptions, this back and forth of acceptance and responding to inflated messaging, it encourages the senders to use this communication channel, whatever media device that they were using, to further present themselves in this way. The CMC models that hyperpersonal model has been extended from include the social information processing theory, in which CMC users create and interpret messaging in order to meet their impressions and interpersonal goals. The hyperpersonal model further extends this idea by emphasizing that users not only meet these relational goals and impressions, but actually exceed those impressions and goals. Lastly, future studies will continue to adapt the hyperpersonal model from different models and theories under CMC. One example of this can be seen with the social identity model of de-individuation effects theory. This model suggests that first impressions are created based on group identity. However, now the hyperpersonal model continues to extend past this and include the idea that personal past experiences and stereotypes from the individual also contribute to the idea of first impressions.